Well, are we
Cloud Brothers.
recording now?
Yes,
Hey,
we are.
uh,
What's your was that
okay.
was that a on-call call?
No, I'm off until the 5th. James,
Oh, oh,
just one
oh,
sec.
oh, oh. Welcome to the
Okay.
Cloud Brothers. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh,
Merry Christmas and happy holidays, stream.
yeah.
Like and subscribe for
Merry,
more quality content like this. And don't forget to
Merry
hit that
everything.
bell. Merry
Merry
everything.
everything.
Happy
Except don't marry twice, because that's bigamy.
well, I'll have
Of
you
course I
know,
marry.
you
It's
could
very big.
say happy Hanukkah. But Hanukkah, I believe it went from the 28th until the 5th, like November 28th to the December 5th this year. And so you
This
can
year,
say Merry, Happy Kwanzaa New Year.
yeah, see, Kwanzaa is the one that I'm going to celebrate this year.
Yeah.
The one I've neglected, that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Festivus, there
go
will be an airing of our grievances.
errands and grievances. And what's better than Festivus though is the unbirthday,
Yeah.
because every other day it's your birthday.
All right. So,
What are we doing?
so,
What are we doing, Brian?
I'm disappearing, apparently, when I spin in my chair.
Mm.
Time
This,
mode 3.
this
Back
will
on
start.
track for the study group through the tutorials dojo until someone tells us to stop doing it. Time to mode set 3 dash AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate. I have now, since we last did this a while ago, I gotta stop spinning.
Hang
So
on,
I finished time set
hang on.
1 and I finished time set 2, but I finished review mode section based and topic based. I have not successfully completed the final test yet. I don't think. I got really close. I got like 69.23%, which is not a pass. But the good news is it's just a
You want to
practice
do?
exam.
Yeah. You want to do a year-end test? You want to do a real? You want to do the status
Uh,
check? How tired? Actually, the first question is, how tired are you
well,
on a scale of one
I have a 5-year-old
to
and a
10?
3-year-old, and it's Christmas time.
Okay, so we won't do that.
If it's gonna like, if we do
Because,
that, it's gonna be together. I'm not gonna do it
oh yeah,
myself.
yeah. We would do it until we're finished.
Okay, we'll do
What
it.
I
Fine.
was thinking is just do a status check,
Yeah, it's fine.
and we'll do a combined status check. So I will help. Like I'm
All right.
taking it
So
again.
I'm trying to get it to go, but it's all right. So here we go.
This is going to
The
be
thing is that
the
go on.
rules are combined effort.
Yeah.
And
And we're not going to get immediate feedback, so we can
we also don't overthink. Don't overthink.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
But what were the things? Hang on, trying to remember the tips for the question. If it's a long question, it's going to take more than a few seconds. Just mark it for review for after. Right?
First pass method is that you set a timer for a minute. If it's going to take more than a minute, then you flag it for review to go back later. Like if in other exam I did, if you know you're going to have to do some math and pull out some paper. In this one, it would be like if it's a really long answer.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to do my trick that I like, which is
we started already.
Yeah, we've been recording for hours. A global IT company with no, I already started it. I thought I told you. A global IT company with offices around the world has multiple AWS accounts to improve efficiency and drive costs down. The chief information officer wants to set up a solution that centrally manages their AWS resources. This will allow them to procure AWS resources centrally and share resources such as transit gateways, license manager, and Route 53 resolver rules across their various accounts as a solutions architect. Which combination of options should you use to implement in this scenario? Consolidate, parallel cluster? Don't know. Geez,
I think this is organizations and Control tower.
Could be.
Does it say a lot of does it say multiple accounts? Yeah. Control
This
tower. Does it say anything about security? License manager.
Centrally manages. This will allow them to procure resources centrally and share resources across gateways, license manager configurations, or Route 53 resolve rules, across their various accounts. It does not say anything about security.
Okay, my belief is AWS control tower does what it says, and I think that's what it's asking in the question. And the other thing, and it's new to me, but the other thing I do know about is organizations. I know organizations is part of the answer. And the other one, the third one, I think does the same thing as the fifth one, but you got to do a lot more management yourself. So
that makes sense. Answer. Yeah. Okay. Final answer. I concur. Is that your final answer? That's yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A software company needs to connect its on-premises infrastructure to the AWS cloud. Which of the following services can you use to do that?
No, not a NAT gateway.
I know, that's why I did this.
Yeah.
Direct Connect is definitely, that's a given me.
Direct Connect is one for sure. Software needs to connect to its on-prem. Yeah, I think that's right.
Because the NAT gate was the network access translation gateway. Yeah. VPC coding between two VPCs. Amazon Connect doesn't do that.
I concur with this.
Okay. I got this wrong sometime recently. A startup company has an EC2 instance that is hosting a web application. The volume of users is expected to grow in the coming months, and hence you need to add more elasticity and scalability in your architecture to cope with the demand. Which of the following options can satisfy the above requirement for the given scenario? So if you're paying attention, it says which of the following options can do this. Not that you need to do the two options. You can do one or the other.
Yeah.
So,
S3 cache in front of your instance is out. No, it's the third one is out.
Oh yeah, I know. That's, we're not doing security here, right? Scalability.
Yeah, nothing to do with security.
Did I mean to turn that off?
No, I don't think so.
Set up 2 EC2 instances and use Route 53 to route traffic based on a weighted route routing policy. I think you could do that. Set up 2 instances deployed using launch templates and integrated AWS Glue.
Not sure. No, it's not number 3. And set up 2 instances between the Elastic Load Balancer doesn't allow you to do anything for growth. And the fifth, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay. To save costs, your manager instructed you to analyze and review the setup of your AWS cloud infrastructure. You should also provide an estimate of how much your company will pay for all of the AWS resources that they are using. In this scenario, which of the following will incur costs?
EBS and running EC2.
A company has a web application hosted on a fleet of EC2 instances located in 2 availability zones that are all placed behind an application load balancer. As a solutions architect, you have to add a health check configuration to ensure that your application is highly available.
You sure about this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be highly available on the internet if you can't connect it through HTTP or HTTPS.
Yeah, but it's not application. I think that's a classic load balancer, and I think application load balancer is TCP health check. I think that's the difference between because TCP is just a HTTP is a version of HTTP. So TCP is like transmission control protocol, which means can they transmit shit, which is what HTTP runs on.
Yes.
So I would actually pick TCP. Health check.
But it says highly available. TCP is generally a little bit more secure.
No, it's just
it's back end. But I know the answer is what I've selected.
Okay.
Because I'd seen this question a million times. It's not like those answers are hard to memorize. But it is as for sure. We could check after why, so to explain it better than I can explain it. A new DevOps engineer has created a CloudFormation template for a web application, and she raised a pull request and Git for you to check and review. After checking the template, you immediately told her the template will not work. Which of the following is the reason why this CloudFormation template will fail to deploy to the stack?
It's got no resources.
Correct.
I didn't even have to look at the answers. CloudFormation pretty well.
Startup has resources deployed on the AWS cloud. It is now going to go through a set of scheduled audits by an external auditing firm for compliance. Which of the following services available in AWS can be utilized to help ensure the right information are present for auditing purposes? I would go with CloudTrail.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Word. A company hosted a web application and an auto-scaling group of EC2 instances. The IT manager is concerned about the over-provisioning, I said that weird, of the resources that can cause higher operating costs. Solutions architect has been instructed to create a cost-effective solution without affecting the performance of the application. Which dynamic scaling policy should be used to satisfy this requirement?
Yeah, target.
You agree? Target?
Target, yeah.
Stay on target. A company has a two-tier environment in its on-premises data center, which is composed of an application tier and a database tier. You're instructed to migrate the environment to the cloud and to design the subnets in their VCP with the following requirements. There is an application load balancer that would distribute incoming traffic among the servers in the application tier. The application tier and the database tier must not be accessible from the public internet. The application tier should only accept traffic coming from the load balancer. The database tier contains very sensitive data. It must not share the same subnet with other AWS resources and its custom route table with other instances in this environment. This environment must be highly available and scalable to handle the surge of incoming traffic over the internet. How many subnets should you create to meet the above requirements? Do you think this is a flag for review, or can you figure this out quickly?
Flag for review. Flag for review. If I was in the test, I would we're coming back to this.
Okay, so it turns orange when you flag it. Okay, so we'll go next. We haven't selected anything. This one, this one's funny. Tech company that you're working for has undertaken a total cost of ownership, evaluating the use of S3 versus acquiring more storage hardware. The result was that 1,200 employees would be granted access to use Amazon S3 for their storage for their personal documents. Which of the following will you need to consider so you can set up a solution that incorporates a single sign-on feature from your corporate Active Directory or LDAP directory, and also restricts access for each individual user to a designated user folder in an S3 bucket? So is it set up a matching IAM user for each of the 1,200 users in your corporate directory? No. Map each individual user to a designated user? No. Configure an IAM role and an IAM policy to access the bucket? Yes. Yeah. And then is it set up federation proxy or an identity provider and use an STS to generate temporary tokens, or use single sign-on solutions such as these?
I don't remember. I had this one wrong. I thought there was this one and then I picked the third party, but I think it's this one. I think this is correct.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I always, and I do that too. Every time I see this question, because it says single sign-on right here,
Mm-hmm.
right? It always drives me to go here. And then I feel like
Yeah.
I get it wrong when I
Yeah.
do that. So,
Yeah. I think it's correct.
I believe this one's that one, but just because I haven't memorized. But it makes sense if you read the question. A company needs to secure access to its RDS for MySQL database that is used by multiple applications. Each IAM user must use a short-lived authentication token to connect its database. Which of the following is? It might be wrong. It might not be that. Hold on. Company, because this might be like my memorization might be screwing me over right now. A company needs secure access to its Amazon RDS for MySQL database that is used by multiple applications. Each IAM user must use a short-lived authentication token to connect to the database. Which of the following is the most suitable solution in this scenario?
I think it's SSO. Secrets Manager is like a store, like a parameter store.
Yeah, that's what I thought the question was going to say, because there is one. It says, where should you store these parameters? And the answer is Secrets Manager.
Secrets Manager, yeah.
Use IMDB authentication and create a database account using the AWS provided authentication plugin in MySQL.
No. The AWS SSO, I believe, does what this thing is saying. It's not the MFA, it's not Secrets Manager, it's not the IAM one. Therefore, it has to be SSO. That's what I would pick.
So you're like 100% sure on that?
Yeah, almost 99.9.
Okay, so if you're 99.9% for question 11, we'll mark it as you, but I think it's what I picked. Okay. Ready? Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, new online banking platform has been redesigned to have a microservices architecture in which complex applications are decomposed into smaller independent services. The new platform is using Docker. Considering the application containers are optimal for running small decoupled services, the new solution should remove the need to provision and manage servers, let you specify and pay for resources per application, and improve security through application by design. Which of the following is the most suitable service to migrate this new platform to AWS? It does not say that it has to be cloud agnostic, if you didn't notice that.
I think this is Fargate.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
So Kubernetes doesn't do Docker specifically, right?
Kubernetes is a specific thing where you manage your own stuff, and I think Fargate is like new solution, remove the need to provision and manage servers, let you pay for resources per application, and secure through isolation by design. I think that's what Fargate does.
Yep, I think you're right.
Marketing.
I agree with you. Okay. A solutions architect is trying to enable cross-region replication to an S3 bucket, but this option is disabled. Which of the following options is a valid reason for that? Huh. I don't remember this question, but if I were guessing, I'd say it's in order to use the cross-region replication feature in S3, you'd need to first enable versioning on the bucket.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Because that's logical, like, because you should do that. Because if you're replicating a bucket, you want, if something screws up, then
it has to replicate in where it is first. Has to make a shadow. Used to call it shadow copy.
True. Yeah, it makes sense. Shadow copy. Okay, that's good to know. All right.
That's not a real term, by the way. It's a Windows thing.
Okay. A company is storing, I will not remember it. A company is storing its financial reports and regulatory documents in an Amazon S3 bucket to comply with the IT audit. They task their solutions architect to track all new objects added to the bucket as well as the removed ones. It should also track whether a versioned object is permanently deleted. The architect must configure Amazon S3 to publish notifications for these events to a queue for post-processing and to an Amazon SNS topic that will notify the operations team. Which of the following is the most suitable solution that the architect should implement?
Can you move the answers above my head?
I can move the answers above your head. Oh, well. Hold on.
What's the difference? Yeah, perfect. You can squish my brain, so you can squish me.
Squish my brain.
What's the commonality? These are going to be all exactly the same, right? They all the first sentence.
Create an Amazon SNS topic and Amazon MQ for these two, and these two are SQS queues.
SQS. So create Amazon.
And then the second part for this is add an S3 event configuration on the bucket to publish object added, object removed, event types SQS and SNS. And this one says the same thing, but this marker, it says object removed, delete marker created.
Why would you use a message queue above SQS? Okay. Architect must configure S3 publish notifications for these events to a queue for posting, for post-processing, and to an SNS topic notify. So why message queue instead of SQS? They probably wanted to use SQS.
Okay, so and then the other part of this question is that they want to know that they want to be able to track and log that whether there's an object added, object removed, and whether a versioned object was permanently deleted.
I think it's the fourth one.
Yeah, I just thought that. That just popped in my head too. So that's the point. Then Amazon SQS queue at S3. I'm just looking for the difference here. Object created, and object removed, delete marker created, and then object removed, delete.
Maybe the delete marker is the version one. Maybe that's the trick.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like it might just be this rule.
I would go with that one. If it was my money, I'd be going with this one.
All right. A company has a decoupled application in AWS using EC2 autoscaling group S3 and SQS. The solutions architect designed the architecture in such a way that EC2 instances will consume the message from the SQS queue and automatically scale up or down based on the number of messages in the queue. Hold on.
Yeah, read that again.
Oh, in this scenario, which of the following statements is false about SQS?
Oh, there's a key one. FIFO is first in, first out, and yes. I don't think that's exactly once processing. I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, I felt like that was false too.
Standard queues preserve order of the message. That's not true, because you have to specify first in, first out in a queue. So standard queue won't necessarily preserve the order of a message if that's the case.
Because it also says all these statements might not apply to SQS all the time, but it just says in this scenario, which of the following statements is false? So you think it's this one?
Yeah.
I will defer to your better judgment. A solutions architect needs to deploy a mobile application that can collect votes for a popular singing competition. Millions of users from around the world will submit their votes using their mobile phones. These votes must be collected and stored in a highly scalable and highly available data store, which will be queried for real-time ranking.
Redshift Mobile Hub.
No.
Guess. AppSync. You've had this one?
Yes.
DynamoDB and AppSync. I've never. What's AppSync? I don't know what AppSync is.
Well, it syncs the app.
Okay,
It does what it says. So millions of users from around the world will submit votes using their mobile phones, which is the app on their phone. These votes, obviously, these votes must be collected and stored in a highly scalable and highly available data store, which will be queried by real-time ranking. And my inclination, my first inclination is to go to Amazon Redshift because it's for data analytics.
Yeah, correct.
But it's not that fast.
Oh, really?
Right. Okay. Now here's the other thing. Amazon Aurora does real time too. And now that I think about it, it might be that one. I don't think it's Redshift and Mobile Hub, so for me, it's in between this one and this one.
Cognito is like Cognito is authentication thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Amazon Cognito, right? You're on mobile phones. How are you going to vote if they can't identify you?
Well, yeah, that's the other part of it.
So actually, now I'm leaning on this one, toward this one, because it says highly scalable and highly available data store, and I believe this is a data store. So is this kind of, but so I'm more leaning on.
I think it's that one. I think it's that one. I think it's the first one. I go with one.
Like this one, or you think it's this one?
That one, yeah.
I think it's this one. That's the one I'm heavily leaning towards. But if it's not that one, it's that one.
You convinced me.
A company needs to collect gigabytes of data per second from websites and social media feeds to gain insights on its product offerings. Huh?
Kinesis streams. You don't even need to look. Kinesis streams. As soon as you know how I knew that?
No. Gigabytes of data per second?
Yeah, that's the stream.
Yeah.
That's a Kinesis stream.
The least amount 100%. Of administrative overhead? Yeah, you're right. Okay. A large Philippine blah, blah, blah is building a 2-tier web application, the VPC, to serve dynamic transaction-based content. The data tier is leveraging OLTP database, but for the web tier, they're still deciding what service they will use. What AWS services should you leverage to build an elastic and scalable web tier?
Battery low.
Oh, no.
You need the load balancer without the you need the ELB EC2 auto scaling. Nothing else. RDS with multi-AZ auto scaling. So you need the EC2s in there when you're running your app on. If you don't have EC2s.
I don't.
It's one. It's number one.
It says elastic load balancing, Amazon EC2 and auto scaling. Okay.
So leverage, it's the key here is elastic and scalable, right?
Yeah.
So the RDS and multi-AZ and auto scaling there's no compute in that. What are you running your thing on?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Elastic load balancer, Amazon RDS with multi-AZ, Amazon S3. Again, what are you running your thing on?
Yeah.
Right? And then EC2, DynamoDB, S3, you're running your stuff, but how does it scale?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Okay, I got you. Gracefully from instance failures. That's all you need to know.
yeah. If you know this one, just move on.
Yeah, I do. It's just saying that like you're doing batch processing and you need to gracefully recover from.
Well, I saw a demo of a guy. I saw a demo of some company. They're running their entire infrastructure in production on spot instances.
Hold on a second. Sorry. All right. Sorry. Continue that story.
What story?
You're talking about something. You saw an example.
I saw an example. They were using in production their production stuff for, like, it was apartment finder or something like that. In production, they were using 100% spot instances.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah. So they had their instances in load balancer, and then they give you 2 minutes. They give you exactly 2 minutes when they tell you a spot instance is going to go down. So they put it, and then they auto scale with the load balancer, and they cycle out the one that's marked for deletion, and they bring in a new one. And so by the time the new one has scaled up over a couple of minutes, it's the old one is taken out of the load balancer.
Can you sit up in your chair because you're covering your face with your name?
Sorry,
it's kind of hard. Sorry. It's okay.
Okay.
A travel photo sharing website is using Amazon S3 to serve high quality photos, blah, blah, blah. After a few days, you found out people are stealing your photos, resulting in financial loss of your business.
Oh, this one.
What is the most effective? Yeah. So, company has several unencrypted EBS snapshots. Solutions architect must ensure that all the new volumes restored from the unencrypted snapshots are automatically encrypted. What should be done to accomplish this requirement? This isn't complicated. Like, enable the EBS encryption by default feature for the region. Launch new EBS volumes and specify the symmetric custom master key for encryption. I don't think so. I think do you have to, can you encrypt an EBS volume after it's been made, or do you have to launch a new one to encrypt a new one?
I think you have to mount it and encrypt it, mount it. Like, I don't think you can.
So you have
encrypt,
to. So you have to launch it. You have to launch a new one.
I don't think you have go. What's that say? With the customer asymmetric customer master key. Is that what that says?
Which one? This one? This one's on the bottom here is asymmetric master key. Whoop.
I think this is just default. This is just number one. Enable EBS by default in the region.
Okay. An online shopping platform is hosted on an auto-scaling group of Spot EC2 instances and uses Postgres as its database. There is a requirement to optimize your database workloads in your cluster, where you have to direct the production traffic to your high-capacity instances and point the reporting queries sent by your internal staff to low-capacity instances. So can you see all that? Probably not.
Yeah.
Except for the bottom.
Yeah, I can see it.
I
can see all I need. I can see what I need. I can see what I need to see. I think it's the third one.
Create a custom endpoint in Aurora based on the specified criteria for the production traffic, and another custom endpoint to handle the reporting queries. I'm just going to go with you on that one. There are a few easily there are a few easily reproducible but confidential files that your client wants to store in AWS without worrying about capacities. For the first months, all of these files will be accessed frequently. They will rarely be accessed, but after that, they'll be rarely accessed. The old files will only be accessed by developers. There is no set retrieval time. However, the files under a specific prefix in the S3 bucket will be used for post-processing that requires millisecond retrieval time. Given these conditions, which of the following would be the most cost-effective? Boom. Yep. Nope. Nope. It's this one. Wait.
Yeah.
Has to be, because they want it to be like, you want millisecond retrieval. You need infrequent access. And it wants the most cost effective. So S3 is like, you can do S3 IA, but it's more expensive. And so is intelligent tiering. And so prefix to one zone IA, while the at like S3 one zone IA, while the remaining go to Glacier using the life cycle policy after 30 days. If Deep Archive was there, then it would be that one, but I don't see that. You'll be pleased to know that your nephew wants to be a drummer, and when he answers a question that he's excited about, he always gives us a drum roll.
I'll teach him a paradiddle now.
I like red.
Videos. Huh?
What's your favorite color, Archer? Blue.
Nice.
Yeah. Paradiddle. You can't tell him that, because then he can beat up his father. An aerospace engineering company recently adopted a hybrid cloud infrastructure with AWS. One of the solutions architect's tasks is to launch a VPC with both public and private subnets for their EC2 instances as well as their database instances. Which of the following statements are true regarding Amazon VPC subnets? Well,
I think that one's right.
No.
Yeah, I think EC2 instances in a private subnet can communicate with the internet only if they have an elastic IP. I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, sounds weird. Oh, geez. A client is hosting their company website on a cluster of web servers that are behind a public-facing load balancer. The client also uses Amazon Route 53 to manage their public DNS. How should the client configure the DNS zone apex record to point to the load balancer?
I should know this one. I think it's
which one?
Create a A record and point it to the load balancer.
Now, is that an aliased record or
Yeah.
So the one I selected?
Oh yeah, that's right. This is correct.
Create an A record alias to the load balancer DNS name. Next. Yep.
Yeah, next.
An auto-scaling group of Linux EC2 instances is created with basic monitoring enabled in CloudWatch. You notice their application is so slow, so you asked one of your engineers to check your EC2 instances. After checking your EC2 instances, you notice that the auto-scaling group is not launching more instances as it should be, even though the servers already have high memory usage. Which of the following options should the architect implement to resolve the issue? Install the CloudWatch agent to the EC2 instance, which will trigger your auto scaling group to scale out. A media company needs to configure an Amazon S3 bucket to serve static assets for the public-facing web application. Which methods ensure that all of the objects uploaded to the S3 bucket can be read publicly all over the internet? Wait.
No, that's a no. That's a no. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Oh no, you had it right. Yeah, that one. Those two are correct. Create an IAM role to set the objects inside the S3. The IAM is for users. That's not for assets. That's for users. Roles are for. Well, actually, it's not true either. I'm pretty sure it's bucket policy though.
It looks right to me.
Yeah.
A company has an application that uses multiple EC2 instances located in various regions. Hopefully they're all working today because they had 3 outages this month.
Oh, they had a third one?
Yeah, they had one. They had one today. They were talking about it, and that game that I play, I'm pretty sure is hosted. Like people were complaining because their lag time or their what do you call it? It's not lag time. It's escaping me, but it has to do with the latency.
Response time.
No, it's like their ping or whatever. It's like a 53.
Yeah.
They have it like it's all on the bottom right hand side, and you look and you're like, oh man, I'm at 53. Whatever the unit is.
Yeah.
And people were going, yeah, it's really bad. My ping's really bad, and they're but they do mean latency. And so like in the game, like the killer takes a swing at you, right? And you like move out of the way, but you get hit anyway, even though you're far away, because their latency is different than yours. And on their screen, they whacked you, and you go, I didn't get hit, and you know. But anyway, people aren't able to connect, and then when they do connect, they call it lag time in that game. Just that's what the people say. And they so anyway, they must be running an AWS because they were around the times those outages, all 3 times. They must have been going to another region or whatever, because they're all over the world. Anyway,
so many Fortune 500s on AWS.
Oh yeah.
AWS has an outage. You're likely going to be affected in some way.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
That's what they said. Parts of the internet are just gone. That's what it said.
Yeah.
Which of the following options can satisfy this given requirement? A company that uses these instances located in various regions. The manager instructed the solutions architect to set up a latency-based routing to route incoming traffic for tdj.com to all these instances across all regions.
Yeah, has to be Route 53.
Okay. A leading e-commerce is in need of a storage solution that can be accessed simultaneously by 1,000 Linux.
CFS next.
Okay.
Chef, next. Chef's Opwork next.
The telecommunications company is planning to give AWS console access to developers. Company policies, identity, blah 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 blah. Active Directory.
You're right. Next.
Wait.
I know you're right on this one. Like Sheldon ADD.
A company plans to build a data analytics company in AWS, which will be deployed in an auto-scaling group of on-demand instances and a MongoDB database. It is expected that the database will have high throughput workloads. Small random, I think is provisioned. I feel like it's provisioned.
Yeah, small random IO is provisioned. Cold HD is for something else.
Large IO.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Okay. Share static media content, premium users around the world, also their partners who syndicate their media. The company is looking for ways to reduce server costs and securely deliver their data to customers globally with low latency.
CloudFront and S3.
Yeah, you're right. Company has stored 200 terabytes of backup files. They are in a vendor proprietary format. The SA needs to use the vendor's proprietary file conversion software to retrieve the files from the bucket, transform the files to an industry standard format, and re-upload the files back to the S3. The solution must minimize the data transfer cost. No. Nope. I think it's this one.
200 terabytes. You might be looking at hardware.
Maybe.
And that would be the Snowball Edge.
Bam, 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 bam. That's a lot of terabytes.
Yeah. Because what's it say? It needs to re-upload the files back to S3. It needs to transform the files in the industry standard format and re-upload them.
It depends. It depends.
I wonder if they have. I wonder if that in the file conversion software in the S3, can you do that?
Yep.
Can you run the program for the file conversion software?
Yep. I know you
and
can
then
do that.
batch operations to perform it might be the first one.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to, for that amount of terabytes, I think you'd have to order multiple edge devices.
I think that's correct.
A production MySQL database hosted in Amazon RDS is running out of disk storage. Management has consulted its solutions architect to increase the disk space without impacting database performance. How can the SA satisfy the requirements with the least operational? How can the solution architect satisfy the requirement with the least operational overhead? Modify the DB instance settings and enable storage autoscaling.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's caught the capitalized least.
Multinational manufacturing company has multiple accounts in AWS to separate their various departments such as finance, human resources, engineering, and many others. There is a requirement to ensure that certain access to services and actions are properly controlled to comply with the security policy of the company. As the solutions architect, which is the most suitable way to set up multi-account AWS environment of the company?
Yeah. Hey. Next.
Wait.
No.
I think this is a trick question.
No. Hey. I've used both of those things in production.
Wait. You're right.
Yeah. Service control policies is what you can create.
But I still need to read the answers before I click next. This is annoying. Oh, no, it's Dynamo. It has to be. No SQL, baby. Did you read it? The question?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't have all those things when you're making a music database. So this is A and A.
You had this one before?
Yeah, but
I think there's one A record and one C name record. MX is for mail. And MX is mail exchange.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I think it's A record and C name. because those are the standard things that you have to, like, if you go and set up your domain with your DNS, you have to change these things.
Okay, so
you have to have a CNAME record
so
and an A record.
I can tell you, I do know because I have gotten this one wrong before. Non-alias with type A record set, definitely wrong.
Yeah.
So this is definite. That makes this definitely right.
Yeah.
And then I have selected both of these, and I believe I got it wrong that time. Oops. So I believe you.
But MX record is 100% mail exchange.
Good to know.
It's a standard thing. Yeah.
Okay, so in this scenario, what are the benefits of using the Amazon CloudFormation service that you should tell your manager to clarify his concerns without even reading the question? Enables modeling, provisioning, and version controlling of your entire AWS infrastructure. Allows you to model your entire infrastructure in a text file.
Yeah.
And the other answers are using CloudFormation is free. Oh, that's nice. Did you know that I can buy a car for free? A storage location for the code of your application. No, that's right. You only have to pay for the gas. Provides highly durable and scalable data storage. Does it? Does it though?
No.
A multinational company has been building its new analytics platform with high performance computing workloads. HPC, which requires a scalable, POSIX compliant storage service. The data need to be stored redundantly across multiple AZs and allows concurrent connections from thousands of EC2 instances hosted on multiple availability zones. Which of the following AWS storage services is the most suitable one to use in this scenario?
That's 3.
It is. Oh, yeah, you're right. Multinational company has been building the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because it'll do that. It'll do that. Wait.
Allows concurrent connections is EFS. So I missed that.
That was a close one.
That was a close one. Yeah, it was almost a fail. Almost failed over that one.
Yep. An e-commerce application is using a fan-out messaging pattern for its order management system. For every order, it sends an Amazon SNS message to an SNS topic, and the message is replicated and pushed to the Amazon SQS queues for parallel asynchronous processing. A Spot EC2 instance retrieves the message from each SQS queue and processes the message. There was an incident while an EC2 instance is currently processing a message. The instance was abruptly terminated and the process was not completed in time. In this scenario, what happens to the SQS message?
I think it's the last one.
The message will automatically be assigned to the same EC2 instances when it comes back online with in or after visibility. The message is depleted. The message visibility.
It's the first. That's the one you had, number 2.
When the message visibility timeout expires, the message becomes available for processing by other EC2 instances.
Yeah, it's that one.
All right. Wait, let me read the question. A financial company instructed you to automate recurring tasks in your department, such as patch management, infrastructure selection, and data synchronization to improve their current processes. You need to have a service which can coordinate multiple AWS services into serverless workflows. Which of the following is the most cost-effective?
Step functions. We had this one, step functions.
You're a step function.
Said...
Just kidding. It's weird. Hold on a second. I check something.
Oh, green screen. It's going off.
Yeah, it's weird. Where is that? Right here? Here? Here. What is happening, bro?
Your camera move?
Maybe. Might be.
Your camera probably moved.
Could be. I probably knocked it. Oh, you know what it is? It's my wire.
Oh, it's the wire?
It's a wire. Okay.
Sort yourself up.
Gotta sort my wires out. Oh my gosh. There we go. Oh no. Pay no attention to the man behind that curtain. Okay, so deep archive. Wait. Intelligent sharing. Infrequent access. A company needs to use Amazon S3 to store these irreproducible financial documents.
Yeah.
Quarterly, they're required to be retrieved after a period of 3 months. There will be some occasions when a surprise audit will be held, which will require the access to the archive the data that they need to present immediately.
Yeah,
yes,
that's one.
Yes, cost effective.
Cost effective is infrequent access. I don't remember the other one you had like that, but cost effective means
I know,
IA usually.
but S3, cost effective and access immediately is always infrequent access.
Exactly.
Cost effective and can be they need it within a few hours or a day. Glacier, if they want 24 to 48 hours, deep archive.
Yeah.
And S3 standard's the most expensive of these, of the ones. I think intelligent sharing is actually more expensive than standard, but I digress. A solutions architect is working on for a multinational telecommunications company. The IT manager wants to consolidate their log streams, including the access, application, and security logs in one single system. Once consolidated, the company will analyze these logs in real time based on heuristics. There will be some time in the future when the company will need to validate heuristics, which requires going back to data samples extracted from the last 12 hours. What is the best approach to meet this requirement?
Either the second one or the third one. First of all, yeah, I think it's the second one. Yeah, I think it's Cloud.
Yeah, that's what
seems like something you do with CloudTrail.
Yeah, I feel that way too. ETL, that's glue.
ETL is glue. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Do you know what ETL is?
No.
ETL is extract, transform, load. AWS Glue is a management service that does ETL jobs. Yeah. So that's not step functions, that's not Redshift Spectrum, and that's not S3.
I thought AWS Glue just kept things together.
And Archer thinks it's a really idea that he gets drums because he wants to become a drummer. He just told me that the other day. I didn't tell him his Uncle Scott knows how to drum.
You can get quietish.
I honestly think it's a super idea for him. And operations team has an application running on EC2 instances inside 2 custom VPCs. The VPCs are located in the Ohio and North Virginia region, respectively. The team wants to transfer data between the instances without traversing the public internet.
I think you need a NAT gateway to do your internet stuff.
Oh, it says transfer data between the instances, so it isn't egress. Reconfigure the route tables, target and destination of the instance subnet. No.
No.
Yeah, you will need a NAT gateway to in the public subnet of each VPC to be able to speak to each other, wouldn't you?
No, that's to talk to the internet. It doesn't say anything about internet. I think it's that one now. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's correct.
Yeah, VP steering plus this. The combination this plus this equals what they want. Okay, that makes sense. Correct. Online cryptocurrency platform is hosted in AWS, which uses the ECS cluster and RDS and multi-AZ deployment configuration. The application is heavily using the RDS instance to process complex read and write database operations to maintain the reliability, availability, and performance of your systems. You have to closely monitor how the different processes or threads on a DB instance use the CPU, including the percentage of the CPU bandwidth and a total memory consumed by each process. Which of the following is the most suitable solution to properly monitor your database?
I think this one is the RDS check the CPU memory metrics readily available on the RDS console. I think those are just part of it.
Okay, so
enhanced monitoring is all they ask for about enhanced monitoring. Oh, actually, it might be enhanced monitoring. Never mind.
Yeah, so what are the two things that you have to set? You told me it was memory, and what was the other thing?
Yeah, that's for EC2. You throw everything about EC2 away because this is RDS.
Oh, we're talking about RDS.
That's why I'm.
That's why I chose it. I was just getting them mixed up, I think. Obviously, so maintain the reliability, availability, and performance of your system. You have to closely monitor how the different processes or threads on a DB instance use the CPU, including the percentage of CPU bandwidth, total memory consumed by each process.
Yeah, I think enhanced monitoring is correct for this. It's either enhanced monitoring or it's built in, but it's not the script or anything else.
Okay. A suite of applications is hosted on an auto-scaling group of EC2 instances across 3 AZs, and it's configured with default settings. There's an application load balancer that forwards the request to the respective target group on the URL path. The scale-in policy has been triggered due to the low number of incoming traffic to the application, which EC2 instance will be the first one terminated by your auto-scaling group. The EC2 instance launched from the oldest launch configuration.
I think it's the one that's been running the longest. Yeah, it's the one that's running the longest. Because you don't always start the EC2 instance from a launch configuration. Actually, maybe, yeah, I think you're right.
I am 99.99999% sure it's on.
Okay.
What's the question here? A startup launched an FTP server using on-demand EC2 instance in a newly created VPC with default settings. The server should not be accessible publicly, but only through this IP address and nowhere else. Which of the following is the most suitable way to implement this requirement? Is that right? 116.100.
Yeah, that one. That's the correct IP. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. A large financial firm in the country has an AWS environment that contains several reserved EC2 instances hosting a web application that has been decommissioned last week. To save costs, you need to stop incurring charges for the reserved instances as soon as possible. What cost-effective steps will you take in this circumstance?
That one. And that one.
Correct. Correctamundo. A company launched an EC2 instance in the newly created VPC. They noticed that the generated instance does not have an associated DNS hostname. Which of the following options could be a valid reason for this issue? Wow.
I've never seen that one before. I think, you got to do that in your VPC. I think you got to enable that in your VPC. It seems to trigger a very old memory.
The DNS resolution and DNS hostname of the VPC configuration should be enabled.
Yeah, I think it's part of configuring your VPC. You have to do that.
Because I do know this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. It wouldn't let you do that.
I do know this won't correct the issue.
Yeah.
Um,
And Route
this
53
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that one.
Okay, so a solutions architect is working for a company which has multiple VPCs in various AWS regions. The architect is assigned to set up a logging system which will track all of the changes made to their AWS resources in all regions, including the configurations made in IAM, CloudFront, AWS, WAF, and Route 53. In order to pass compliance requirements, the solution must ensure the security, integrity, and durability of the log data. It should also provide an event history of API calls made in AWS Management Console and AWS CLI. Which of the following solutions is best to fit for this scenario?
Yeah. Just mark this one for, I don't even want to look at this one last.
Okay. All right. Next. I said next. Company has both on-premises data centers as well as AWS cloud infrastructure. They store a whole bunch of objects in their standard S3 storage class bucket as a backup. Their data is heavily used for only 7 days, but after that period, it will be infrequently used by their customers. The solutions architect is instructed to save storage costs in AWS, yet maintain the ability to fetch a subnet of their media assets in a matter of minutes for a surprise annual data audit, which will be conducted on their cloud storage. Which of the following valid options can the solution architect implement to meet the above requirement? Oh, this is a weird one.
Doesn't say anything about budget, right? Nothing about cost effective, budget, save money. Doesn't say anything about that, right? Oh,
it says
save storage costs. Save storage costs. There it is.
Yeah. So yeah,
infrequent access is one. What set the lifecycle policy of the bucket to transition the data to S3? Set the lifecycle policy bucket to transition to S3. The only difference is the data. Okay, I think that one's right. And then
okay, it's this one. I've had this question before and it's weird. And it's hard to remember because the reason why is to go to S3 standard IA, you can only do it after 30 days. And to transfer to Glacier, you can do it within 7 days. And Glacier, you can retrieve in minutes.
Right.
All right. So
yeah, I never went down
7, 7, 7, and 7. Sorry?
Yeah, I never went deep into the S3 rabbit hole. I upload and download. That's about it. Yeah, I made a website a couple of times. That's about all I know about S3.
An organization needs to provision a new Amazon EC2 instance with the persistent block storage volume to migrate data from its on-premises network to AWS. The required maximum performance for the storage volume is 64,000 IOPS. Yeah. In the scenario, which of the following can be used? And
this one.
Nitro is the only one that goes up this high.
Yeah.
Company plans to build a web architecture using on-demand EC2 instances and a database in AWS. However, due to budget constraints, the company instructed the solutions architect to choose a database service, which they no longer need to worry about management, blah, 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 blah. It's DynamoDB.
Yeah.
A web application is hosted in an auto-scaling group of EC2 instances deployed across multiple availability zones behind an application load balancer. You need to implement an SSL solution for your system to improve its security, which is why you request an SSL TLS certificate from a third-party certificate authority. Where can you safely import the SSL TLS certificate of your application?
No idea. Going with you. No idea. I thought that was right. You store it in S3 and then use the certificate manager to pop it in or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. A company developed a meal planning application that provides meal recommendations for the week as well as the food consumption of the users. The application resides in an EC2 instance, which requires access to various AWS services for its day-to-day operations. Which of the following is the best way to allow the EC2 instance to access the S3 bucket and other AWS services?
Yeah, that one. That's proper. That's the way.
A leading IT consulting company has an application which processes a large stream of financial data by an Amazon ECS cluster that stores the result to a DynamoDB table. You have to design a solution to detect the new entries in the DynamoDB table, then automatically trigger a Lambda function to run some tests to verify the process. What solution can be easily implemented to alert the Lambda function of new entries while requiring minimal configuration to change our architecture?
The third one. I've done this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. A newly hired solutions architect is checking all of the security groups and network access control list rules of the company's AWS resources for security purposes. The MSQL via port 1433 of the database tier should be secured. Below is the security group configuration of their Microsoft SQL Server database. So you can see how that looks. The application tier hosted in an auto scaling group of EC2 instances is the only identified resource that needs to connect the database architecture. Ensure the architecture complies with the practice of granting least privilege. Which of the following changes should be made to the security group configuration? For the MSQL rule, change the source to NACL ID attached to the application tier. Change the source to static Anycast IP address attached to the application tier. For the MSQL rule, change the source to EC2 instance IDs of the underlying instances of the auto scaling group. Or lastly, the MSQ rule change source to security group ID attached to the application tier.
I think it's can only be an IP address, so I think it's the second one.
The Anycast IP?
Yeah.
Or the NACL? Because that's an IP.
I don't. NACL is network access layer control. Network access control layer thing. Which actually, I don't think you can put in the source. I think the only thing you can put in the source thing is the IP address. I don't know. I think that's correct. You can't put EC2 instance IDs in here in your security group. Yeah. NACLs are at the subnet layer.
Yeah, I'm not arguing about that. I just looking at the other ones.
Wait. Sorry, I was incorrect. The fourth one is the correct one.
That's what I was feeling. Yeah. The security group ID attached to the application tier. Okay.
I didn't see it. It's behind my camera, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's why I was hesitating. The company you're working for has a set of AWS resources hosted in AP Northeast 1 region. You have been asked by your IT manager to create an AWS CLI shell script that will call an AWS service that could create duplicate resources in another region. In the event, blah, 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 the duplicate resource should also contain the VPC peering configuration and other networking components from the primary stack. Which of the following should help you fulfill?
Confirmation.
Yeah. A government entity is conducting a population housing census in the city. Uploaded on their online blah 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 Amazon S3. The government assigned to its solutions architect to set compliance policies to verify data in a manner that meets their compliance standards. Macy. PHI. Personally identified information, protected health information, intellectual property.
Yeah. Macy, yes.
Macy, a company has a VPC for its human resources department, another VPC located in a different region for the finance department. The solution architect must redesign the architecture to allow the finance department to access all resources that are in the human resources department, and vice versa. What type of network connection should should the SA set up to satisfy the above requirement? Keys to this question. VPCs are located in a different region from their finance department.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A company plans to use Route 53 instead of ELB to load balance the incoming request to the web application. The system is deployed to EC2 instances to which the traffic needs to be distributed. You want to set a specific percentage of traffic to go to each instance. Which routing policy should you use?
That's weighted. It's a percentage.
Lose. That's right. Okay. A customer is transitioning their ActiveMQ broker service onto the AWS cloud, in which they require an alternative asynchronous service that promotes MNS and MQTT messaging protocol. The customer does not have the time and resources needed to recreate their messaging service in the cloud. The service has to be highly available and should require almost no management overhead. Which of the
MQ
following is a suitable service to meet? Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because that will import existing apps. The other one, you have to change it.
Fair. Okay. Company has a dynamic web app written in MeanStack that is going to be launched in the next month. There is a probability that the traffic will be quite high in the first couple of weeks. In the event of a load failure, how can you set up a DNS failure to a static website? And
scroll that up a bit.
Yeah, the last one says use Route 53 with the failover option to a static S3 website, bucket, or CloudFront distribution. And then the one above it's enable failover to an on-premises data center. No. Add more servers in case the application fails. No. Duplicate the exact application architecture in another region and configure DNS weight-based routing. Good idea, but it's not the best idea. Okay, so we have two that that was question 65. So we have question 9 and the one more recent one. So let's look at this. I think the answer to this one, just from memorization, is 4, but let's try and figure out why before we answer it. We have 56 minutes, so we got lots of time. Company has a 2-tier environment in its on-premises data center, which is composed of an application tier and database tier. You're instructed to migrate their environment to the AWS cloud to design the subnets in their VPC with the following requirements. Okay. Application load balancer would distribute the incoming traffic among the servers in the application tier. Okay. The application tier must not be accessible from the public internet. The application tier should only accept traffic from the load balancer. The database tier contains very sensitive data. It must not share the same subnet as other AWS resources and its custom route table with other instances in the environment. And the environment must be highly available and scalable to handle a surge of incoming traffic over the internet.
Yeah, 3 or 6.
I think it's
minimum
4.
3.
Minimum 3, but I think it's the scalability. Like it is, I understand, like it's a minimum of 3 because of the other things, but it also says it needs to handle a surge, right? So let's see, like it doesn't say global, it doesn't say highly available anywhere.
4. I don't know. Pick it's 4 or 6. It's either 3, 4, or 6.
Okay, so we have selected 4.
Yeah, 4. Okay.
And then we're going to look at 52.
All right. No.
Oh, this one, yeah. So a solutions architect is working for a company which has multiple VPCs in various AWS regions. The architect is assigned to set up a logging system which will track all of the changes made to AWS resources in all regions, including configurations made in IAM, CloudFront, WAF, Route 53. In order to pass compliance requirements, the architect must ensure the security, integrity, and durability of the log data. It should also provide an event history of API calls made in AWS Management Console and CLI.
So CloudWatch Trail is not a thing. CloudWatch Trail is not a thing. So the ones that say CloudWatch Trail, you can take those out. So it's CloudTrail, CloudTrail. I think it's the third one.
I was just thinking that too. All right. So now we can go, I think that's I don't think we flagged anything else.
No.
Or if this was a real test and I paid $500 for it or whatever, I would go through them one by one again at this point.
Yeah. Let's skip that.
But we're not going to do that. So we're going to finish the quiz and see.
This was a litmus test.
This is our
baseline. See where we're at.
Mm-hmm, yeah. 81.54%. That's pretty good.
Passed.
That's 53 out of 65 points. So congratulations, you passed. Did it say it? Yeah, congratulations. You passed the test. Woo! We still highly encourage you to carefully read our detailed explanations. Do you want to look at the incorrect answers and see where we got wrong, where we went wrong?
We'll just move me.
You want to move up or down?
I'm tired. I want to move up. I'm tired of looking up to you like this. Payback. Right. Payback. It's payback or something.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, sorry, I moved you out of the way. Okay, so
no, it's good. I understand. I kinda want to go over the.
We'll just go quickly. We can scroll through it. So the global IT, we should have used the resource access manager. I should have gotten that. It wasn't control tower. I didn't think it was.
Oh,
I thought
somebody
thought it was this one.
Control. Somebody has sold me on control tower now.
Control tower is cool, but I'll tell you why it's not. I'll tell you why it's not, but it's not me telling you. It's because AWS Control Tower simply offers the easiest way to set up and govern a new secure multi-account AWS environment. This is not the most suitable service to use to securely share your resources within your organization. You have to use Resource Access Manager instead.
Got to ram it to them. The RAM.
So, oh, that's weird. I thought we selected a different one for this. I thought we selected this one.
That was just I'm pretty sure that was just a button file.
Yeah. Whoops.
Taking that one back.
Okay, so you're right. You're right on this one. So it should have been 6. Okay, so
we want to know how I got there?
Yes.
I got to 6.
Yeah, explain it.
I got to 3, and then I said, "Oh, need high availability. You got to double that because you need 2."
Okay. See, it shows there's 2 public subnets, 2 private subnets, and then 2 private subnets going back and forth, master and slave. Yeah. So that's 6. It's easy. This was the one I argued with you about. I said number 11. I'm going to go with you, but it's this. And it's not. Let's see if they tell you why, though. It's incorrect because it just enables you to centrally manage SSO access and user permissions from all your AWS accounts managed through organizations.
I've steered you wrong on this one before. So
I knew the answer. I wasn't listening to you, but we're doing this test together. So because I had seen this cheat sheet before and see that because it has a circle.
I remember it now. I remember it.
Yep.
I think I remember it. I remember it right before my test, and I got it wrong right before my test too.
And it's the thing about it too is that it's like my brain, when I think about IAM roles, I don't think about databases, right? I think about people. Yeah. So because it's identity and access management, but it's
users.
But there is DB authentication because you have to remember, it's access management. So think about this part and this part, access management database. Oh, we're so close. Oh, why isn't it the last one? Because they're jerks, that's why. Which we picked
Oh, I thought we had picked that one. I picked the 4th one. Another button file.
No. You had picked that one for a long time. And then you went, maybe it's this one. You said, and I went, maybe, and then I changed it. But this was this was selected for if you watch the tape, you'll see it's 3 minutes, or the video, I should say. There's probably no tape in my computer.
Tricked us. We're gonna send this. We're gonna send this stuff to Amazon, although they're probably watching already. And go look. That's how you got us.
This was my fault. Because I thought it was this. It made sense to me. That's okay. I didn't think that was true, but. Apparently it is an aerospace engineering company, blah, blah, blah. Every subnet that you create is automatically associated with the main route table for the VPC. That makes sense now that I am not in the middle of trying to rush through this. Yeah, it's IM rules. I was trying to change that. And you're like, no, it's that for sure. And it's this one and this one.
Yeah. Russian.
Weber.
Blame the Russians.
That's the one I picked. This one. And then I wanted this one. Initially, that was first instinct. And then you said, it's probably a snowball edge. And then I said, no, I don't think it's snowball edge. And then you said this one. But I was only like 75% sure. I wasn't 90.
Yeah.
But
I did check my mind movie, but this one, this was the one that I thought this was. Unless I talked myself out of it.
Well, this is the one I selected at first. To deploy these new instances in the same region, install file conversion software on the instance, perform data transformation. But it seems weird. It just feels like
I asked you, can you install the software on S3?
And they said yes.
Yeah.
And how do I know that? Because I've answered this before and I got it right. But I got it wrong lots of times. So or enough times that I thought it was this, but I knew you're installing software on S3 somewhere.
Oh yeah. That doesn't make sense. The one, okay, all right, never mind.
Yeah,
that's rushing through it.
Yeah, it's fine. And it is these two. I clicked these two.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird, and it says why. It says why here. You can look at it. You can look that up if you care. It's not that exciting. Okay,
it was kinesis for the stream, for the time, because
it
was 12 hours.
Yeah. Usually, I remember doing that, like going, of course, every time you see streams, it's kinesis. So
yeah.
That was my fault.
No, this one I just got wrong.
Yeah. I was just going with you on that one, I think, but I did know it was this. And this reconfigure the route table as target. Okay, well, we still pass, so we don't have to beat ourselves up about this. Oh, that's funny, because on this one I did select these two initially.
You had these ones.
And then I changed it to this. That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. That's not a lot of questions that are wrong. And then
that's pretty good.
If you want to feel good about yourself, then you
look at the percentage.
Oh yeah, you go like
80%.
They're all good. They're all 80%.
So
but no, what I was gonna say is you change it to and you're like, oh, look at that, oh, man, I'm so smart. Yeah. I didn't miss a thing.
No, wow, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing to do, actually. A bad idea.
No, it isn't, because I have a tendency to focus on the negative or whatever, which is why I get obsessed with getting 100% on everything.
Yeah, I did get my thing at work that I've been working on forever to work on the last day before the shutdown, so I was happy.
Nice.
I can actually take my time off.
That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
I got the fine feathered news. Well, it wasn't news. It was like very carefully asked, would you like to make more money? Yes. What do you mean? Like overtime, like an hour or two. For like the next 2-3 months till we hire a new person. Sure. So I'm there. Like my options are, I can, because I work 37.5 hours. So in Ontario, you have to get up to 44 hours to start making overtime. So I'd have to work 6.5 hours of overtime to start making time and a half. Or I can take it in vacation time. For every hour I work, I get an hour and a half. So I'm doing that one. Because math-wise, it makes more sense. And also, having the kids at home, the more vacation time, the better.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been going, we went over by half an hour, which is good. So I'm probably just going to cut the screen here and go like and subscribe. Cloud Brother rap.
Oh, yeah, Cloud Brother rap. I did want to do a set point. This is it's close to the year.
Yeah.
A set point to see where you were. So
yeah,
you're 80%. although I assisted, I think I was actually more of a detriment than an assist. I don't know what my plus minus was.
Oh yeah, we never know. But you're where I would be waffling, you're kind of helping, which is a big confidence builder. Because and then, but the thing is when we do this together, you put in your experience and say it's this and this, and I've done this 100 times, and it just confirms what I was already thinking, right?
Yeah.
And I just go, yeah, it's blah blah blah. And I always learn a little bit more if you're doing
Like
this process with me. It's good.
That one with the database stream,
Mm-hmm.
The DynamoDB stream.
Yeah.
That triggers something,
Mm-hmm.
and then make something go when you update the database, and it triggers a Lambda function to send you something like that.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's actually pretty easy.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah.
All right,
brothers.
brothers. Like and subscribe. You know where the bell is. You know where the bell is. The stream is over.